Making a large life adjustment is frightening, but you understand what's also scarier? Regret. Zig Ziglar. 15 years earlier, I made one of the greatest modifications in my life. It was something I had wanted to do for so long but had actually never ever found the correct time, appropriate plan, or courage to do. You see, ever since I was in my teenagers, I had constantly felt I was suggested to be somewhere else. The town where I grew up was pretty excellent for elevating young children, but it just had not been for me as I entered adulthood. I constantly imagined myself somewhere else doing something various than those that remained and also changed the generations before them. When I came back from college in my 20s, I was eager to obtain my profession going as well as was not in a rush to settle down as well as have children like the majority of my circle. I had not been even sure I actually wanted to elevate a family. I was more interested in exploring this globe and not being tied to one way of life. At 25 I believed, wow, I finally feel like I've got it all determined. I had lived far from residence, completed institution, had relationships both excellent and negative, and also had a strong work values that was instilled in me from a young age. So here I was, prepared to take on the globe. Develop my profession, travel, and perhaps ultimately calm down and start a household, then bang. Easily my world started to collapse. Within a period of 1 year, I was dealt some terrible information. My mother as well as sis were both identified with various devastating conditions. My globe was squashed. I can still remember the effect I really felt on the day I got the information. I remained in my workplace when I obtained the call regarding my sis, that had shed her speech and also capability to relocate one of her arms as well as perhaps needed emergency situation mind surgical procedure. I remained in shock. I had no concept just how I felt, what I was meant to do, or where I was supposed to be. I just sat there with an empty stare, wherefore felt like an endless time but truly was likely simply 5 minutes. After weeks of screening, it was found my sister had MS, numerous sclerosis. A lifelong debilitating illness, or two I comprehended at the time. Fast forward 6+ months later, my sibling was on track with rehabilitation as well as signs of a full recuperation in speech and limb mobility. Then wham! My mother received a stage 3 cancer cells medical diagnosis. I was definitely ruined as well as entirely torn apart. My mother is every little thing to me, the female who inspires me to stand tall as well as solid regardless of what life tosses my way. A female of pure honesty as well as authenticity, liked by so many. After emergency surgical procedure and also intense chemo, I am glad to claim that both my mum and sister survived their destructive ordeals as well as have been living life to the max because that terrible time. However, during that time my world was upside down as well as I was a psychological wreckage. I had no suggestion how to decipher all the feelings I was really feeling after that. I maintained myself hectic, however, with work, excessive partying, and also striking the fitness center hard. You see, I maintained myself looking excellent on the outside, but I was a full mess on the inside. I was no more thriving, I was simply making it through. I started taking supply of my life and also realized I was not living the life I envisioned for myself. I was frightened to make an adjustment as well as additionally to not make an adjustment. Seeing what my family had actually endured made me realize how priceless life is and that I didn't want to lose mine living a life that didn't accomplish me in fear I was following for a diagnosis. So, I made a decision to seek expert aid to gain control and also quality, to heal, and to push through the emotions I was experiencing. Only then would I be able to truly progress with my life in a positive and productive means. Once I had done the job on sorting out my feelings, I was able to begin creating actual adjustment from a healthy, audio perspective. I started creating the life that resonated with me one action at a time. You see, change doesn't take place overnight. It takes time to build. It is a process, as well as any individual that has actually made considerable modification in their lives will certainly tell you that. Their change most likely began means prior to anybody was really aware. I had not been living the life I wanted, so I believed long as well as hard regarding what required to change and also lastly took the jump. I moved across the country on my own, away from my most considerable support, with no task, to start developing a life that resonates with me. It wasn't without challenge or bumps in the roadway, and also it certainly had not been best. However, it's been definitely remarkable, as well as I have actually never looked back. Besides the emotional injury, there were so many points holding me back at first: family members, pals, experience, and worry. Yet what I have actually come to realize is when you start making positive modification in your life, for you, things fall into place in time, and also you recall and realize the adjustment deserved it. Individuals speak from their very own feelings, experiences, and also fears. Don't let that hold you back from what feels right to you. I now live in a location that felt like residence from the very first time I landed right here. I obey the ocean as well as mountains, which influence me on a daily basis. My sister now lives in the same city. In fact, we live the very same facility. My sibling as well as his family moved a 1-hour trip away now instead of throughout the county. My mother still resides back in the town where I grew up, so I feel I obtain the most effective of both globes. Living in a place that influences me while having the opportunity to take another look at a vibrant city and also old pals to recollect with whenever I select to. So, what are the leading things people say they regret as they get older? I would certainly conserved even more cash or made better financial investments, operated in a work or profession I was a lot more enthusiastic regarding, treated my body far better and also had far better self-care, spent more time with loved ones, traveled more, and also the list takes place. Why do so many people rush through life without taking the time to rectify and also guarantee they are focused on the ideal points that imply something to them or will enhance their lives? It's an elaborate subject yet simple. Life obstructs, responsibilities obstruct, others' point of views, and our very own uncertainties as well as concerns hinder. We've all existed, browsing life as it unravels daily, and also as things happen, we go with the flow. However, have you ever before thought, what's my flow? Just how do I desire this particular day, month, year to go? Why do I maintain getting dragged in other instructions or the very same direction just to live daily with no adjustment? Why does it appear like others are growing while I am on repeat or treading without progressing? You will never recognize for certain until you make the effort to discover what is taking place in your life and also produce awareness around what might be holding you back. With the right assistance as well as guidance, you can create adjustment both big as well as little. As a matter of fact, making little modifications often will add up to making a big modification generally. Not exactly sure where to begin? Right here are 5 proven tips to start creating adjustment in your life today. 1. Break the routine. Think about what you can surrender or secure of your day to switch up your day-to-day regimen, and also do this for a 2-week period. This could mean not scrolling mindlessly via social media sites on your lunch break or not seeing television at night, then seeing what else you can do instead. Which brings me to my next point. 2. Bring back doing something you enjoy and make it a bargain breaker in your week. No excuses, make it happen, even you only have a 15-minute window for this task. Like above, do this for a 2-week period, and also this following one, as well. 3. Discover something new. What have you always considered checking out or have a passion in that you've never ever checked out? Give it a try currently. 4. Journal. Maintain notes on just how you are really feeling with the 2 weeks. Then do it all for 1 more 2 weeks. 5. Develop intention. Every week set the intent that there is time, this deserves it, as well as you deserve it. ... The function of this procedure is to assist you see exactly how also small changes can change exactly how you really feel and add to your life as well as well-being. This sets the structure for believing that adjustment provides more than it takes, which assists you find the inspiration to seek out brand new possibilities so you can make larger life changes. Move if you don't feel thrilled with where you live, register for a course to aid you change careers, or ultimately leave the task you despise to do something you like. It takes emphasis, consistency, as well as willpower to make change, however every person has the capacity to do it, especially if they start little and take it someday each time. Border on your own with those that will certainly appreciate you as well as the changes you are making. I bet you'll be shocked to see the amount of individuals are inspired and/or encouraged to begin making their very own adjustments after watching you. So do not wait, start today, as well as open to change so you can live the life you want to live.